Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about something powerful, something real, something that's shaking the foundations of spiritual awakening across the Western world. And no, it's not a new trend. It's not a product. It's not a self-help gimmick. It's a way of life. It's a return to truth. It's Islam, and whether you realize it or not, Islam is the fastest growing religion in the West. Not because it's marketed, not because it's easy, but because it transforms lives. Let me ask you a question. In a world filled with confusion, anxiety, identity crises, and moral breakdowns, what happens when people finally discover something that makes sense? When they find a message that's not diluted, not changing every other year, not being rewritten to fit fads, but is rooted, preserved, and direct, they wake up, they transform, they find Islam. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You've seen the headlines, you've seen the bias, but let me tell you something straight up. Truth doesn't need PR. Truth speaks to the heart. And across Europe, North America, and beyond, people from every walk of life, doctors, entrepreneurs, athletes, students, former priests, even influencers, are embracing Islam. Why? Because Islam does what nothing else can do in the West today. It provides discipline in the face of chaos. It provides connection in the face of loneliness. It provides meaning in the face of materialism. And most importantly, it provides a direct connection with your Creator without intermediaries, without confusion, without fluff. Islam teaches you how to wake up before dawn and master your day through prayer. It teaches you how to fast and conquer your urges. It teaches you that your body is sacred, your time is precious, and your soul has a mission. And when people feel lost, spiritually hungry, when the world tells them just do whatever feels good, they're realizing that feel good doesn't always equal feel fulfilled, so they turn to something deeper, something profound. They turn to Islam because Islam doesn't just tell you what to believe, it shows you how to live. Now I've coached millions of people across the world. I've worked with Fortune 500 CEO, world leaders, and individuals on the brink of destruction. And you know what I've learned. People are starving for certainty. They want rules, they want boundaries, they want a system that helps them thrive, not just survive, and Islam provides that system. 5 daily prayers that anchor your day, fasting that trains your willpower, charity that builds your heart, a clear code of ethics that doesn't shift with trends, a roadmap for the soul. And let me be real with you, Islam is not a religion of convenience. It's not here to make you comfortable, it's here to elevate you. It demands discipline, it demands humility, and that's exactly why people are running toward it. Because the Western model of freedom, do what you want, when you want, how you want, has led to chaos, not fulfillment. It's led to depression, not peace. It's led to confusion, not clarity. And Islam says there is a better way. Ladies and gentlemen, the growth of Islam in the West is not an accident. It's a reaction. A spiritual awakening. It's the soul saying, I've had enough of the lies. I want the truth. And Islam delivers that truth with power, with grace, and with absolute clarity. You want to know why it's growing. Because it works. Because it's timeless. Because it's not built on ego or man-made systems. It's built on divine guidance. So whether you're Muslim or not, I challenge you today. Open your heart, study it, understand it, not from the media, not from hearsay, from the source, from those who live it, because the question is not why Islam is growing. The real question is, are you ready to grow with it? Let's rise. Let's seek truth, let's step into our higher selves, and maybe, just maybe, we'll find exactly what our souls have been searching for. Truth is not something that changes with the times. It's not something that bends to fit your preferences or your convenience. Truth is absolute. It transcends culture. It transcends geography. It transcends race, class, background, language, and upbringing. And when people discover truth, real truth, not man-made interpretations or diluted doctrines, they feel it in their bones. They feel it in their soul. That's what's happening in the West right now. In the chaos of modern life, in the endless pursuit of success, fame, money, identity, people are realizing something is missing. There's an ache inside, a spiritual hunger, a yearning for something real, something complete. And when they come across Islam, it hits them like a wave of clarity, not because they were looking for a religion, not because they were unhappy with life on the surface, but because Islam speaks directly to the heart without needing to be explained away. See, when the soul hears truth, it recognizes it, even if the mind resists. That's why so many people in the West are turning to Islam after reading just a few verses of the Quran. That's why a woman can walk into a mosque not knowing what to expect and walk out feeling like she finally found home. Because Islam doesn't just offer ideas. It offers certainty. It says, this is who you are. This is where you came from. This is your purpose. This is your creator. This is where you're going. And here's how you get there. It's not vague. It's not speculative. It's not open to constant reinterpretation based on the latest social trends. It's fixed, rooted, powerful, and that truth is beautiful in its simplicity. Islam says God is one. You don't worship the creation, you worship the Creator. You don't go through an idol, a priest, a statue, or a middleman. You don't pay for forgiveness. You don't inherit sin. You're born pure. You take responsibility for your own soul. You develop a direct relationship with God through prayer, fasting, charity, and good deeds. Every action, every breath becomes worship if your intention is pure. This is a message that resonates with the Western mind that's tired of spiritual confusion. It's a message that cuts through the noise of modern distractions. And when people come across this message, they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel whole. It's not about converting, it's about awakening. It's about realizing that you've been chasing fulfillment in the wrong places, that you've tried every path, every philosophy, every distraction, and none of them gave you peace. But then there's Islam. And it's not marketed to you. It's not shoved down your throat. You probably heard about it through a friend or a video or a moment of curiosity. But when you looked into it, something shifted. Because Islam doesn't ask you to check your brain at the door. It welcomes your questions. It invites you to think, reflect, challenge, and seek. And that process of seeking leads you back to yourself, back to your soul, and back to the truth that was always within you. Now let's talk about structure. Because in the West, structure is collapsing. Discipline is mocked. Boundaries are blurred. Roles are undefined. Everyone is doing what feels good. And yet people are more depressed, anxious, addicted, and lost than ever before. Why? Because human beings are not designed to thrive in chaos. We need structure. We need clarity. We need a system that organizes our lives, grounds our values, and gives our actions meaning. That's exactly what Islam provides. It's not just a belief, it's a way of life. From how you wake up in the morning, to how you conduct business, to how you treat your parents, to how you purify your wealth. Islam gives you a blueprint for living with purpose. Think about it. 5 daily prayers, not optional, not based on mood, fixed times. Each one becomes a checkpoint in your day, a moment to disconnect from the noise and reconnect with your soul. Fasting in Ramadan, 1 month of spiritual training every year that teaches you to control your desires, regulate your habits, and experience empathy for the less fortunate. Zakat, obligatory charity that purifies your wealth and ensures that your financial success lifts others, not just yourself. These aren't just rituals, they're disciplines. They're habits that rewire your brain, your priorities, and your perspective on life. In a world that glorifies freedom without responsibility, Islam introduces you to the power of divine responsibility. You're accountable for every word you say, every dollar you spend, every glance you cast, every step you take, and far from making life harder, this responsibility empowers you, because it pulls you out of victimhood and places you back in the driver's seat. It says, you are capable, you are responsible, you are not here to follow your whims, you're here to master them, and that mastery gives you strength. In fact, that's why so many people who struggled with addiction, mental health issues, or lack of direction found their healing through Islam. Because Islam gives you a system, a daily routine, a spiritual compass. A set of values that keep you anchored no matter what storm you're facing. It's not always easy, but it's always clear. And that clarity is what the Western world is starving for. People are tired of endless self-help books that contradict each other, tired of philosophies that promise happiness but deliver confusion, tired of lifestyles that look glamorous on social media but feel empty in real life. And so they turn to Islam, not because it promises ease, but because it offers peace. Not the kind of peace you buy with money or escape with entertainment, but the peace that comes from living in alignment with truth. That peace is deeply connected to something we all crave: belonging. In the hyper-individualistic cultures of the West, people are lonelier than ever. They live in crowded cities, yet feel isolated. They have thousands of followers, yet no real friends. They work in offices full of people, but no one knows their story. The rise of depression, suicide, and anxiety isn't just about chemicals. It's about disconnection. People have lost a sense of community, a sense of family, a sense of brotherhood, and that's where Islam comes in with unmatched power. The moment someone accepts Islam, they're no longer alone. They are welcomed into a global family of 2 billion people. They are hugged, embraced, celebrated, supported, not based on race, class, nationality, or status, but based on faith. You could walk into a mosque in any country on earth, and you'd be greeted like a brother or sister. You could find Muslims in remote villages or massive cities, and the hospitality would feel the same. You could be poor or rich, black or white, young or old, and you'd still be greeted with peace. Assalamu alaikum. That sense of belonging is transformative. It reminds you that you're not just another face in the crowd. You're part of something eternal, something sacred, something bigger than yourself, and it's not just about the social connection. It's about spiritual connection. When Muslims pray, they don't pray alone. They stand shoulder to shoulder, feet aligned in perfect rows. Rich and poor, educated and uneducated, powerful and weak, all as equals before God. That daily unity, that collective worship, builds a sense of solidarity that's missing in the West. It teaches you that you're not alone in your struggles, that there are people praying for you with you, that you're never truly isolated, and that changes everything. Even converts to Islam, people who came from completely different backgrounds, often say the same thing: for the first time in my life, I feel like I belong, not because Islam erases their identity, but because it connects their identity to something higher. It shows them that their uniqueness is part of a divine design, that their story matters, that their journey has meaning, and when you feel that, when you feel seen, valued, uplifted, not because of what you have, but because of who you are before God, you walk with a different kind of confidence. In a world of filters and fake identities, people are desperate for authenticity. They're tired of pretending, tired of performing, tired of constantly curating an image for others. They want something real, something raw, something true, and Islam is the embodiment of authenticity. It's not filtered, it's not sugar-coated, it's not designed for comfort, it's designed for truth. When you open the Quran, you don't get vague motivational quotes. You get divine words that challenge you, awaken you, confront your ego, and elevate your soul. And that's exactly what people need. Because deep down, we all know when we're lying to ourselves. We know when we're faking happiness. We know when we're numbing our pain instead of healing it. Islam doesn't let you hide. It invites you to face yourself, to take accountability, to rise, and it gives you tools to do that. Not just once, but daily. It tells you how to speak, how to eat, how to treat your parents, how to forgive, how to lead, how to grieve, how to love. Every aspect of life is covered. Nothing is left to chance, and you don't need a guru. You don't need a spiritual subscription service. You just need sincerity. That's it. Sincerity in your intention, effort in your actions, and trust in your Lord. That's authentic. That's real. And that's what people are rediscovering through Islam. They're not embracing a culture. They're not abandoning who they are. They're stepping into their higher self. And that journey begins the moment they say, La ilaha illallah, there is no God but Allah. That act of surrender, of submission isn't weakness. It's the greatest form of empowerment. Because when you stop trying to control everything, when you stop trying to play God, when you stop living for the approval of people and instead live for the approval of your Creator, everything changes. Your fears shrink, your self-worth rises, your purpose becomes crystal clear, you're no longer swayed by trends or opinions or social pressures, you're grounded in something eternal. That's why Islam is growing. Because it's not a religion of control, it's a religion of liberation. Liberation from the ego, liberation from sin, liberation from meaningless distractions, and when people taste that liberation, they can't go back. They've experienced a level of clarity and peace that the world simply can't offer, and they want more of it. So whether you were born Muslim or just discovering Islam now, realize this. The truth is spreading not because of force, not because of fear, but because of freedom. The kind of freedom that only comes from surrender, the kind of strength that only comes from submission, the kind of clarity that only comes from divine truth. And that is why every single day thousands in the West are waking up to Islam, not because they're forced to, but because their soul was finally ready to rise. Thank you. God bless you all, and may peace be upon you.